welcome to the South County Democratic Club, the Boca del Rey Democratic Club, and all our co-clubs, the Kings Point Democratic Club, the Greater Boynton Democratic Club, the Century Village West Democratic Club, and the Mid-County Dems. If you're the president of those who is that? And Mike, and the Del Rey Dems. Del Rey Democratic Club. If you're the president of one of those organizations, would you stand up, please? So that's Steve Licari from the Mid-County, Michael Cantwell from Del Rey, Bonnie Greenberg, who isn't here today, and Joan Katz, who's right here. And we thank you all for helping us put on this event. Let's pledge to the flag before we begin. So will you rise, please? Over here. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So before we begin tonight, would you please make sure your phones are silent? And we were very close to seeing great patriotic courage today. I hope you all watched Cassidy Hutchinson.
Yay, Cassidy!
And appreciated how she put herself on the line in one of the greatest profiles of courage I've seen since John B. So, all right. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few comments regarding why the Boca del Rey Democratic Club, partnering with other clubs and caucuses in the county, provide this judicial forum. We do this because the judiciary plays a vital role in America, as we witnessed last week when our Supreme Court overturned Roe and the century-old New York law that restricted concealed weapon carry. Although the Supreme Court is selected through advise and consent by a presidential nomination approved in the Senate, we, the people, elected both those people. So really, we are electing the justices of the Supreme Court. They make these appointments on our behalf.
Okay.
In Florida, the Supreme Court consists of 7 justices who are selected using the assisted appointment method, where the governor chooses from a list of 3 to 6 candidates recommended by a commission on judicial appointments, controlled, ironically enough, by the governor. Justices serve 6-year terms, and the appointment of a justice must be confirmed by a retention vote in the next general election at least 1 year after taking office. You guys get to do that.
Yeah.
This year, we will be voting to retain 5 Supreme Court justices here in Florida and 7 District Court of Appeals judges. Please make sure before you vote, you review their records. We, the people of Palm Beach County, the voters here, directly elect our circuit and county court judges. And with this in mind, the Democratic Party wants to make sure you meet and then hear all the candidates running for judge so that you make an informed decision about who deserves your vote. Before I introduce the judges, I'd like to introduce the chair of the party, Terry Rizzo.
Yay, Terry!
Okay, we're set. Hello, everybody. Hello, Democrats.
Hello.
Thank you to Mindy and to all of you who are here. And again, one more time, I want to hear you loud and clear. Hello, Palm Beach County Democrats.
Hello.
I'm Terry Rizzo, and I'm very proud to be the chair of the Palm Beach County Democratic Party, as I say every time. And I know that some of you have heard this before, but I always want to repeat this again, because many people don't know that the Palm Beach County Democratic Party is the party that covers the largest county east of the Mississippi geographically. Except for one county in Maine that's a national forest that has a lot of bears and wolves and rabbits, we are the largest county with voters. Huge county, covering there's almost 900,000 voters and over 850 precincts. We're responsible for that. Only Miami-Dade and Broward have more Democratic voters. We have nearly 400,000 Democrats here registered in Palm Beach County. Give yourselves a round of applause. 307,000 NPAs and only 285,000 Republicans. All right, so we have the majority here. We are a blue county, and we must win. We must get out every vote. This evening is the biannual, judicial, and school board candidate forum to hear from the candidates running for judicial seats and to hear from the Democratic candidates running for school board here in Palm Beach County. And I want to thank you again to the Boca del Rey Democratic Club and the other clubs and caucuses for all your work in putting this together. Let's please give them a round of applause. And I want to echo Mindy. We always say this is the most important election that we've ever seen in our lifetimes. We've heard this in every single election that I've been involved in, right? Same that you have. This year it really is. And we're seeing this more and more as we watch the TV, as we saw the profile in Courage today, as we heard the judicial, the Supreme Court rulings last week that are so critical. Our democracy itself is at stake. Who we elect to the bench matters. Who we elect to the school board matters. The Republicans are coming after school board seats nationwide and here in Palm Beach County. We must defend our Democrats and vote in massive numbers. And we must elect great judicial candidates to the bench. Your participation in the primary on August 23rd is critical. Your support in getting out the vote is critical. We need to elect the Democrats and good candidates who will carry our banner in November in the primary and vote in the nonpartisan races that we're going to hear about tonight. What can you do? A lot. Be sure to vote yourselves. Make a plan to vote, whether it's vote by mail, early voting, or election day. Help us win by talking to your friends, social media, everywhere. Spread the facts. Be a poll watcher to help at the polls. And volunteer. Whatever you can do. Do data entry, work at our offices, or work on neighborhood teams, work in the precincts, knock doors, send postcards to New Dems in Palm Beach County, what we call Welcome Wagon. Whatever you can do, let's do it. It's going to take all of us. Democrats, there are now 56 days to August 23rd. 56 days to the August 23rd primary and 133 days to November 8th. That's less than 2 months to the primary and 5 months to the general election. We need everyone to get out every vote and help us win. And tonight we're going to hear from some great candidates who are going to be on the ballot, and I'm really looking forward to this tonight. Thank you, Mindy, and thank you, Boca del Rey Dems.
Okay, so she puts it on there, I put it over here. So there are two judicial races coming in the what is this? The August election. I can do this. They are the district. One race is for the district court, and one race is for the circuit court. So here you go. In general, county courts, sometimes called the People's Court, are courts of limited jurisdiction where minor criminal, also known as misdemeanor cases, and small civil cases, those are under $30,000, are usually heard. The circuit court is the highest trial court in the state. Major cases, also known as felonies. Civil cases, that is over $30,000. Family court, juvenile court, and probate matters are also in their jurisdiction. They also hear appeals from county courts. Both circuit court and county court judges are elected to 6-year terms and must resign on their 75th birthday. I know you guys think it's after 70, but not anymore. So let me bring up the candidates. Let me first bring up the Circuit Court, and that would be Alcoila St. Just and Karen Sipperstein running for the 15th Judicial Circuit. Keep going. Mind the tables, everybody. Yep, this one. Yeah. Okay. All right. Who's going to go first, Smiley? Heads or tails? Well, now it has to roll around. And my nails are too long, so I can't pick it up. But it is heads. You're first. This is you. Oh, look at you. You're so much better than me. This is Karen Sipperstein. Just leave it. Yeah. And Alcoila St. Just. Have a seat, ladies. And from the Circuit Court, because we're going to do this down the line, you're going to love this. We have Judge Paul D'Amico and Karen Velez Esquire. Please come on up. What's her name? So, heads or tails? Heads. Look, I did it. And it's tails. First or second? Second. Okay. So, now that in public we flip the coin, each one of these candidates will have 2 minutes for an opening statement and 2 minutes for a closing statement, and then, oh no momento, 1 minute for each question. Okay? We'll start here. You're first. You're up. No, stay there. And let me do this for you. Maybe. There you go. So.
Good evening. My name is Karen Sipperstein, and I'm running for Palm Beach County Circuit Court Judge in Group 23. I currently serve our community as a Senior Assistant Attorney General here in Palm Beach County, and I'm running because I have the right experience, knowledge, and temperament to best serve our community. First, I want to address temperament. I've mediated over 500 cases throughout the course of my career. And that's important because as a mediator, you have to be an impartial neutral, which is a requirement for a judge. And I've worked with people of all socioeconomic backgrounds successfully, handling a wide range of cases. Second, I'd like to talk about is my experience. As a Senior Assistant Attorney General here in Palm Beach County, I represent the state, its agencies, and employees when they are sued. That includes judges, prosecutors, public defenders, Tri-Rail, DOT, and many others. This experience is important because it shows a wide range of experience that you need to serve as a judge. Besides having government experience, I also had the benefit of private firm experience when I ran my own office for 10 years, handling contracts, business, real estate, and many other issues. Third, I'd like to talk about knowledge. Growing up, my mother, who was a teacher, and my father always stressed the importance of education, hard work, and community service. My husband, who's here, thank you, of 20 years, and I stress those same values to our two daughters who are 11 and 14 years old. I have been fortunate that I went to Brandeis University undergrad, and I graduated cum laude, and I obtained my Juris Doctor at Brooklyn Law. I volunteer extensively in our community, and I'm proud to volunteer on the Delray Beach Education Committee here in Delray Beach. And that's a stop. That's a stop? That's all right.
1 minute.
So I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate it, and please vote Karen Silverstein.
This is our Toilet St. Just.
Good evening, and thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for hosting this event. My name is Alcoya St. Just. I am a Palm Beach County native, born and raised in Boynton Beach, so Palm Beach County is home for me. I have served this county in different capacities as an attorney for more than 18 years now. I started my career working with the state of Florida Department of Children and Families, where I excelled to become a senior attorney representing the best interests of children through the state of Florida. From there, I left and I started in civil practice, representing indigent parents, some of the most underserved in our community, to navigate the system of the juvenile dependency world, ensuring that they had an opportunity to be heard and that their voice was recognized. In those more than 18 years, I have been in the courtroom, on average, at least 3 times a week, presenting testimony, evidence, and arguing cases before judges, which has inclined me with the experience necessary to serve as your next circuit court judge. My experience over the 18 years has been in the circuit court, and I have done work in the areas mostly of juvenile dependency and family law. In addition to that, I have served as a special magistrate for more than 10 years. That has allowed me the opportunity to listen to testimony, rule on the admissibility of evidence, and make a ruling based on the rule of law here in this county. Consistency is important, and I have consistently worked here in Palm Beach County to serve the community as an attorney. Additionally, I have also worked as a mediator. However, there is a distinction between mediation and ruling on cases. Mediation is the ability to help parties negotiate a settlement, where sitting as a circuit judge, I will be tasked with making decisions and ensuring that those are based on the testimony and evidence presented as well as the rule of law. Again, my name is Alcoya St. Just. I'm running for Circuit Court Judge Group 23. I'd love to have your vote on August 23rd.
Judge Paul D'Amico, running for the county court.
I'm Judge Paul D'Amico. I've been
The
judge.
circuit court.
It's county.
County court, right.
It's county.
Sorry.
Don't like
I had
circuit.
them-
No disrespect to circuit.
Yeah,
Love
well,
county.
all that criminal stuff.
All that criminal stuff. Paul D'Amico. I've been your judge for the last 20 years. I presently sit on the criminal bench. I've been a civil judge for you, and I presently do domestic violence cases for the community. A little bit about my experience. In 1986, I graduated from Florida State University. We have some Florida State people there. First job I got after graduating from FSU, I ran back to Palm Beach County where I grew up, and I became a prosecutor for the state's attorney's office. Like any baby prosecutor, you start out prosecuting drunk driving cases, DUI cases, and I became an expert at that, doing that for about 18 months. I was then promoted to the general felony division, where I tried anything from possession of marijuana to murder in the first degree and everything in between, including rape cases and home invasions. Very serious work, and it was very benefiting work for me to do as well. I finished my career at the state's attorney's office as the chief of the vice unit for the narcotics unit. There we did basically drug trafficking investigations and prosecutions, and it was at or around that time that I got board certified as a trial specialist by the Florida Bar. And it was also at or around that time where I started to think to myself, boy, Paul, when you grow up, you're going to want to be a judge, because that was always a dream of mine, and you're not balanced right now. You are a prosecutor for 9, 10 years. You need to get some balance. So I left the prosecutor's office in 1997, and I became an assistant public defender. And I have 2 assistant public defenders that I work with who came to watch today, John and Deborah. Thank you so much for being here. But my work there was for 5 years, and it was very beneficial being an assistant public defender, because it did just what I needed. I needed my professional experience to be balanced. I saw the law from a completely different paradigm, And it made me a better professional, but it also balanced me as a judge. And I believe to this day it makes me a better judge because of that balance. Now, I've been your county court judge for the last 20 years, doing civil work, criminal work, and domestic violence work as well. Why do I love county court? And no disrespect to circuit court. Judge Paul D'Amico, vote for me on August 23rd.
And Karen Velez, Esquire, also running for, I got this right now, County Court.
Hello, thank you for being here. I'm Karen Velez. I've been a resident of Palm Beach County for 23 years. I've been an attorney for 16 years. I began my legal career as a public defender at the Public Defender's Office, where I was in court every single day, litigating every kind of matter. So we're talking juvenile cases, mental health cases, substance abuse, everything from lower level misdemeanor all the way up through successfully homicide, every kind of case while at the Public Defender's Office, mostly obviously representing the indigent poor. Besides that, I now have a small business. I'm the small business owner of the Velez Law Firm here in Palm Beach County, where I've lived for over 23 years, along with my husband and daughter who's here, teaching her civic engagement. Thank you for being here again. Besides my legal career of 16 years, I have 2 other professions that would aid me if elected by you, the voters of Palm Beach County. I'm a former educator, so let me back it up. After Brooklyn College, Enterprise Rent-A-Car hired me to do their insurance claims work. I did that. They relocated me to open their Fort Lauderdale, Florida office, and I've been in Boca ever since, over 23 years. I was also a former educator. I was teaching on 9/11, and that experience of teaching a classroom on 9/11 is what prompted me to pursue my dream and become a lawyer. I'm now pursuing my dream and running for judge. I'm running for judge because I have the experience, the demeanor, the knowledge, the work ethic. I have been in the trenches across 3 professions, 2 states, over many decades at this point, and I'm running for the People's Court, specifically County Court, because it's where you have a diverse range of people, and because you, the voters, should choose and elect your judges. And that's not the case here. It shouldn't be that someone was appointed 2 decades ago and they're still sitting in a seat. It's not a Supreme Court, it's County Court. Vote for Karen Velez on August 23rd. Thank you.
That's good. Al-Khaila, this is for all of you. We distributed your biography, and now we've heard a little bit about you, but we'd really like to know you a whole lot better. So tell us something about yourself. Hobbies, talents, what you do in your spare time, a little golf, I don't know. Al-Khaila, 1 minute, you guys.
Again, my name is Alcoya St. Just running for Circuit Court Judge Group 23. The thing that I love to do most is spend time with my family. I'm married. My husband, Sonny, is here with the t-shirt on, representing for me. And my 2 children, Jordan, who is 15, and Jeremiah, who just turned 13. We like to travel. I like to have the opportunity to give them various experiences, to go different places that I was unable to as a child. My parents, I come from meager beginnings. My father worked in sanitation for the city of Boca Raton, starting out driving trash trucks around the city, and my mom worked for Palm Beach State College, which back then, if you remember, was Palm Beach Community College, and she worked her way up to become the administrative assistant to the board of directors. So the thing that brings me the most joy is spending time with my family and with my friends and traveling with them, being able to expose them to various different opportunities. Alcoya St. Just for Circuit Court.
Right on the minute. Let me go down there. Ms. Velez.
So I love something about myself. I also come from, meager beginnings. And so being here in Boca and buying my home, it's a privilege every day to walk out and garden and go to the beach. We're an active family, so we like to ride on the trails throughout Boca along A1A. We're very physically active as a family, and we can do 10, 15 miles. You know, actually my daughter could probably do it since she's like about 2 years old. So physically active, engaged in the community. I serve on causes. I volunteer a substantial amount of my time when I'm not in court or representing my clients. And specifically like with Dress for Success Palm Beaches, where we train and help women find jobs, usually the victims of domestic violence. Also the Women's Foundation. So I think it's very important to give back. I think it's very important to spend time with family, and thank you.
Ms. Sipperstein.
Karen Sipperstein, Circuit Court Judge, running for Circuit Court Judge in Group 23. I just don't want us to get confusing because there are two Karens on the stage. This is Karen with a C, and so really briefly, one of my favorite things to do is go on walks with my family with our two rescue dogs. We have two dogs, Zippy and Jet. One was a rescue from Puerto Rico, the other one from Homestead, and my daughters and I also love volunteering in our community, walking dogs that need to be adopted. I don't frequently have a lot of spare time, but when I do, I enjoy volunteering, coaching kids about the law. And I volunteer on the Palm Beach County Federal Bar Association, and what we do is we teach children, or I should say young adults in high school, about law and different cases, and I have the opportunity to coach them. So I really am passionate about education and improving opportunities for our children. Thank you. Vote Karen Sipperstein. Thank you.
Judge D'Amico.
Judge D'Amico, we're an Italian family. We're a very close, hard-loving family. We spend a lot of time, our family's very close. Our son just left for school today, and I think Jennifer and I cried for a few minutes as he went back to school. So we spend a lot of time together. We're dog people. We spend a lot of time with our dogs. Jen and I like to travel. We do a lot of community service. I, in particular, have an affinity towards the elderly, and I spend probably for the last 30 years, I've been doing this on a weekly basis. I spend a lot of time with the elderly. I benefit more than they benefit meeting with those folks. Golf, you know, I try golf. I can't say I'm a golfer because I'm just not that good, I can't get that good at it. But recently, I took up pickleball about 8 months ago. My wife and I are playing pickleball almost every day. We love playing pickleball. And you got to be careful though, because it's a lot of moving and quick. I already hurt an ankle one time, but pickleball is my new fave. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now we're once again at the county court judges. This is a good one. What police procedural shows do you watch? For example, Law and Order SVU. Just curious.
Police shows?
Police shows.
Police shows. There used to be a real funny comic one that was out. I don't even remember the name of it. I used to watch that. Anybody remember the comedy police show? That was
Car 54, where are you?
Car 54, Adam 12. That was in the same era and whatnot. You know, I have to be honest with you. I spend so much time in the law, in the courtroom. When Jen and I or the kids are watching TV, I like to escape. Yep. And so I tend not to want to watch those shows because I start critiquing them. They can't do that. That's a violation of this. And I'm working again. So I really don't, I tend to avoid those types of shows.
So police shows. I do remember someone said Barney Miller. I have seen Brooklyn, is it 911 or Brooklyn 999?
The Wire.
Yes. So I was gonna say I like the shows like the HBO ones, like The Wire is a good one. The producers of The Wire have a new show on HBO that I haven't caught yet. But I like the longer series more than like the 30-minute shows. But I'm more inclined to just like read or watch you know, a movie as opposed to watching police shows. I think it's also nice to kind of escape and separate a little bit from work. But there are great ones, and I would definitely recommend The Wire and the old school ones. There's also a lot of really great movies, but that wasn't the question. So vote Karen Velez for Palm Beach County Court Judge. Thank you.
No, don't come over here. Well, she was bringing me the microphone. So this is for our circuit court candidates. Tell us what courses you've taken to fulfill the Florida CLE requirement for continuing ed, which I am tremendously familiar with as a classroom teacher. So, go ahead, Karen.
So part of my job, I have to do extensive training working at the Florida Attorney General's office, and I've actually had the honor of teaching a CLE class that I get credit for as well in mediation. And so I have the opportunity of teaching our unit about mediation and how to appropriately be prepared and to handle oneself. I've also taken many CLEs, prison litigation, civil rights, probate, tort litigation. I've also taught CLEs on tort litigation and prison litigation, and it's always a great opportunity. I love learning, and so I take as many as I possibly can. Thank you.
20 Beach County Bar Association, where we taught the importance of trial preparation and presenting evidence according to the rules of juvenile procedure. I also had the opportunity to work with the bench bar to serve on as a co-chair for the family law section at the bench bar a few years ago. Most of my CLEs that I've taken have been in the areas of juvenile law. I've also done some trial advocacy training to ensure that, because I am in the courtroom so often and I am litigating cases, presenting testimony and evidence, I took trial advocacy courses to ensure that my skills are as sharp as can be, that I know the rules of evidence, and that I know the rules of procedure that apply in every case. Again, my name is Alcoya St. Just, running for Circuit Court Judge Group 23. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is for the county court. Judge D'Amico, who is your hero in the law, either alive or dead? And why did you pick him or her?
Her name is Sherry Cunningham. Sherry Cunningham, the first African-American female judge in Palm Beach County. That occurred in 1993. And matter of fact, I sat for the JNC, and I remember sitting in the hallway, and she was in having the conference before me, and she came out, and I was very much too young and not prepared at that time, but I wanted to do it because I knew eventually one day I wanted to become a judge. So I was interested in the process. She came out, and she greeted me, and she put me at ease, and she was just such a lady. And when I became a judge in 2001, she had been a judge since 1993. She brought me in and she said, I need to talk to you. And she said, I have two pieces of advice for you. Well, you're now a judge and your reputation on the bench is going to occur in the next 6 months, so behave yourself. And I said, yes, Judge, thank you so much. And the other thing she said is, you're not going to know what you're doing until you're a judge for at least 3 years. And she was serious. And you know, it's funny, that's advice that I have given to young judges over the years because it was so beneficial to me. And I just love her as a person and as a judge of influence.
So I have two. I have Thurgood Marshall, obviously because of his seminal work, his work ethic, his dedication to his community. And the second is RBG. I think that, you know, this is someone that her work resonates with me. The work she's done is, you know, very important. And I also like her relationship across the aisle. I like that RBG had excellent relationship with other Supreme Court justices. And obviously the Supreme Court is in our minds and our forefront right now. But so yeah, so RBG at this point, and vote Karen Velez for County Court Judge. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this question is going to go down the line. It shouldn't take you a minute, I'm just saying. Have you ever belonged to the ACLU or similar organization, or the Federalist Society, or an organization similar to that? And if so, which organizations, when, and for how long did you belong? Let me go, Judge D'Amico.
No, and no. When you're a judge, you have to be very careful with your affiliations, and I tend to be very, very careful about that, because if you affiliate with a particular concern, you might be automatically labeled, and as a judge, the last thing you want to be is even giving an appearance that you're not fair and impartial right down the middle. We must be neutral all of the time. So my answer to your questions, ma'am, are
Is
no.
no, no, and no. Thank you so much. Karen, and this one, that one.
So, no and no. I've not been a member of the Federalist Society or the ACLU.
Thank you. Thank you. You're up. Karen.
No to all, and thank you. Please vote Karen Sipperson.
There you go. See, that's a 30-second question.
So I have been a member of both the NAACP, not the ACLU, and the Federalist Society. As an attorney serving in Palm Beach County, it's important that I know the views of all of its members and constituents, and I've had that opportunity through those engagements in those organizations. Again, my name is Alcoya St. Just, Circuit Court Judge, Group 23. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, circuit court candidates, what have you read lately? Yeah, sure.
So, working at the Attorney General's office, I read a lot of statutes, Constitution, case law, very exciting things. But when I come home at night, my daughter always wants a bedtime story. And so one of her favorite books is a book that I enjoy reading, and it makes me really proud. It's called The Giving Tree. And it talks about how a tree gives of itself, not because it got anything specific or tangible in return, but just by the fact of giving. And that makes me so proud that my daughter sees that I volunteer in the community, I serve our community as a public servant, and it just makes me so proud that that's one of her favorite books. So thank you. Please vote Karen Sipperstein.
So, really have not had a lot of time to read. One thing that I read consistently is the Bible. My faith is important to me, so that is something that I make time to do. Additionally, I have been reading up because there are some new rules coming down for civil, Circuit Civil Division, and I've been reading up on the new procedures and requirements to serve in the role that I'm asking you to elect me for, to ensure that I'm up to date on the proposed changes and how they will affect the functioning and how the court is to be run. And again, my name is Alcoya St. Just, running for Circuit Court Judge, Group 23.
Okay, we're coming down to the wire, you guys, almost there. County court candidates, what is the most interesting pro bono case you've ever represented?
Well, I have been a judge for 20 years, and prior to that, I was a assistant public defender, and prior to that, I was a prosecutor for here in Palm Beach County. So in those areas, in those jobs, you can't do pro bono. You're not allowed. You're actually not allowed to do it. Now, have I counseled hours, countless hours and hours with members of the public? Absolutely. And as a judge, you've got to be very careful about that. But as a judge, you can counsel as long as you talk in hypotheticals. Hypotheticals is allowed. You can't talk about, obviously, anybody's specific case. But I love helping people with their legal issues whenever I can. It's ethical to do so.
Thank you.
So as a former public defender, once I went into private practice.
Oh, she's a correct brother. Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay. Once I went into private practice, I thought it was important to continue to give back. And so I've had several. I've had a single mom looking for child support that I represented. I've had a dad that was not allowed to see his daughter during COVID, and we wanted to establish paternity, and so that was a big deal. And when it was granted, paternity was granted, he took her to Legoland, and it was a huge moment in their life, and he keeps in touch. Most of my cases are like that, moms and dads. I practice predominantly family law at this point. So, you know, moms, dads, people from every socioeconomic background, and I think it is important to continue to give back and do pro bono work for those that cannot afford my services. I'm Karen Velez for County Court Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is for all four of you. This is one of my favorite quotes about the country and the law. What do you think the meaning of the statement, "We are a nation of laws, not men," means? Let me start with Al-Qaeda, because you haven't had one in a while. You got a break. I know.
So I don't know that I can speak to anything that I believe or would think. We do have laws which help to ensure order, give direction to how things should go. However, we are a nation of people who collectively come from vast areas in different walks of life, who have different experiences, who've endured different hardships. And that is what makes America great, is that we have such differences, but when we can all come together in unity to promote the common good, it's an amazing thing. And so that would be my answer to that very weird question to me. I'll call you St. Justice before Judge Court.
I'm not sure what the order is, so I just want to make sure I'm following the rules. So the quote was, "We are a nation of law and not men." Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. So it brings to mind in me the fact that our country is based upon three branches of government. We have the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative branch. And the independence of the judiciary is very important because our country is founded upon the fact that we have the independent branches. And in order for each of those branches to be successful, men and women need to feel confident and have trust in our judiciary. So to me, this quote signifies to me that we are a country and fortunate to have laws and a constitution that founded where we live. Please vote Karen Sipperstein. Thank you.
Judge Paul D'Amico. I don't like the quote. I need to be gender neutral, first of all, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I feel, hearing the quote makes me feel uncomfortable when we're just talking about men, not even half the population. So, laws, you know, being a judge and being in the law so long, you know, one thing I've learned is sometimes something that is legal, in other words, a law, isn't always what is right. Can you imagine that? The laws are written by people, and unfortunately, if politics gets into that process, sometimes we get laws that aren't fair to the people. And so I don't really like the quote. I think we need to be real careful about who we elect to make these decisions, so we have laws that represent not just the men, but the people.
I think the quote has been covered quite well, but in my mind, we are a nation of laws, you know, based on the Constitution and based on the human beings that render the law and make decisions. And what this brings to mind is obviously that it's important that we elect leaders and judges that make sound decisions and that remain fair and impartial. And so this brings to mind the important time in our country, in our lives, as Americans, as residents of Palm Beach County. And so I urge you to do the research and elect a judge that has been in the trenches and deserves your vote. Karen Velez on August 23rd. Thank you.
So now they each have 2 minutes to make a closing statement. And since Karen Sipperstein started, we'll let Alcoylas go first.
2 minutes, correct?
2.
Again, my name is Alcoyas St. Just, and I'm running to be your next circuit court judge in Group 23. As I've already stated, I've been arguing cases before the court for more than 18 years here in Palm Beach County. I also happen to have the endorsement of someone who's in the audience, so I just want to give a shout out to Dr. Deborah Robinson, who has endorsed me in this campaign. Additionally, I am the only candidate who has been not only vetted by the Judicial Nominating Commission, but I have been sent up to the Office of the Governor for consideration for appointment for a circuit court judge position. Now, this means that the members of that commission have spoken to the attorneys and judges that I'm practicing before and against, looked at my history, and deemed me qualified to serve as a circuit court judge here in Palm Beach County. Additionally, I have the endorsement of 8 local mayors, more than 35 state and local elected officials. I have the endorsement of 5 past presidents of the Palm Beach County Bar, 1 past president of the Florida Bar, and 2 past presidents of the National Bar Association. I started out my career in the law working with an organization and 2 civil rights icons, Darrell Parks and Benjamin Crump. And they sparked that interest in the law and helped to shape me into the attorney that I am today. I'm asking for your vote on August 23rd. I've been serving this community as a community servant. Additionally, I volunteer with several organizations. I am a board member of the Inner City Innovators, which is an organization that takes children from the inner city to connect them with resources and opportunities to take them away from what we would call the street life. I've been a member of the Florida Association of Women Lawyers, the Cherie D. Cunningham Black Women Lawyers Association, as well as the F. Malcolm Cunningham Bar Association. I'm a member of the Palm Beach County Bar. Again, my name is Alcoyas St. Just. I'm running for Circuit Judge Group 23. And to remember me when you go to the polls, just remember St. Justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to say I really appreciate everyone's time here today listening to us here at the forum. And I want to just talk about really briefly, as a public servant working at the Attorney General's office, as a civil litigator, as a mediator, and also as an arbitrator, my experience will best serve our community. I didn't have a chance earlier to talk about my arbitration experience. I'm from New Jersey, and in New Jersey, if you are a court-appointed arbitrator, you are considered a quasi-judicial hearing officer. And at that time, you have the ability to hear cases that come before the court, which are the same types of cases that I would hear if I were elected judge. People present their case, provide documentary evidence, oral testimony, and I have an opportunity to make a determination of fact, apply the law, and make an award on those cases. So I do have quasi-judicial experience that will assist me in serving our community. And lastly, I just wanted to point out that I have been endorsed by the Sun Sentinel, Women's Issues Now, National Organization of Women, the Palm Beach County Human Rights Council, as well as approximately 30 officials and former elected officials. And I'm very proud to say that I have a support of Judge Jessica Tickton, retired in this room, as well as Beth Rappaport, Steve Rappaport, and I'm asking you for your vote, and thank you so much, Karen Sipperstein.
Did you go first or second when we flipped the coin?
I believe I went, would you like to go first or second? I'll go. Judges, very important people because they affect the lives of citizens such as yourselves. We can make a mistake and really goof you up. Financially, even with liberty, take liberty away from somebody. So you want experienced judges, and as important as experienced judges, don't we want qualified judges? We want experience, and we want judges who are qualified. You know, judges get graded every other year. We get graded by lawyers who appear in front of us. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And the rating goes either you're excellent in an area, you're satisfactory in an area, or you're unsatisfactory. Nobody wants to get that. I have been rated since 2001 all the way through 2022. These are the areas where they rate us, and I think you'll say, yeah, these are great areas that a judge should be good at. Knowledge of the law, whether you're prepared, whether you're impartial, whether you have a good demeanor on the bench to everybody, whether you control the courtroom well, whether you're timely and punctual with your cases, whether you're good with your case management, and whether or not you have good common sense. What a concept, judge with good common sense. I have received excellent ratings and have been judged in the top tier of judges every time, not most of the time, but every time that I've been rated by the Palm Beach Bar, and I'm very proud of that. Recently this week, the Sun Sentinel endorsed me over my opponent, and they brought that up. They said that, not that there's no right, there's a big difference, but there's no case to run against Judge D'Amico because he is the highest rated county court judge in Palm Beach County presently. I was very proud of that. Very proud of the National Organization of Women. They interviewed both my opponent and myself, and they actually sent a representative the next day to watch me conduct a stalking trial. And they were there for the whole trial. I was surprised and taken back by that. The following day, they endorsed me, and I've just been told to stop. I will obey the rules. My name is Judge Paul D'Amico. Please vote for Judge D'Amico in order to keep Judge D'Amico.
So I'm Karen Velez. I think it's clear that I'm qualified. I've been an attorney for 16 years. I've worked in 2 other professions. The law is my 3rd profession. I volunteer a substantial amount of time in this community, Palm Beach County, where I've lived in Boca Raton for over 23 years at this point, along with my husband. I believe in service, right? As a public defender, I represented the poorest amongst us. In my private practice, I represent people from all walks of life, and county court is the people's court. It's where you get the most diverse range of people. Many who've never been in court, and that's their first time in court. And why is that important? Because you need empathy, you need experience, you need to roll up your sleeves and get to work because they have a lot of cases. I can hit the ground running. I've been doing that across 2 states for decades at this point, in 3 careers. Something that came up that's important is that the incumbent has endorsements. And I understand that it is not easy to stand up here and run against an incumbent. But I'm doing it because I'm qualified, because I've worked at it, because voters should choose their elected officials. It shouldn't be that you're appointed and you stay 20, 30 years. This is not the Supreme Court. So I'm asking you to choose and to vote for me, Karen Velez, as your county court judge, oh, I still have time, on August 23rd. I still have 15 seconds. Thank you, Judge, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I think it's also important to remember that if you're here today, you care about our electoral process, and you understand that it's important that we all have fair, impartial, qualified, hardworking, dedicated judges. And that's what I would be if elected to be your Palm Beach County judge. I'm ready to serve. Karen Velez on August 23rd. Thank you.
gentlemen, the judicial candidates, and we thank them very, very much. Before we go on, I'm going to do a little housekeeping because I didn't see people standing or sitting in the room like Jessica Tickton. Judge Tickton, nice to see you. She did this once a couple of years ago. Representative Tay Edmonds, who I also totally missed, our newest state representative. And Deborah Robinson from the school board. Anybody else that I missed? Great, perfect. All right, we're going to switch to our school board